Shami Sechta מעשר, Sheni, Tavov, Menalef, Nishma Gita Bashem, Shem Mitzvah, Shem Evam Yitzchak. I think it would be important to read the Gemara, or learn the Gemara rather, in Avodas Leis and Tzadik Zayin, Bava Kama, which mentions our Gemara, but it's a lot easier to learn it with Rashi first. Because this Yishami is really a Bavli also here. Let's learn the Gemara, Tzadik Zayin Amud Aleph. It's a couple of lines, but it'll give us a better understanding of the Gemara here. Gemara says in Tzadik Zayin Amud Aleph, all the way on the bottom, Itma. Hamavas Chavere Al Hamatbeya V'nifsela Hamatbeya. Somebody makes a loan to somebody else on a Matbeya, V'nifsela Hamatbeya. The Beya now, Zog Rashi, what did he do? Malvi, he lent him Shum Pragmatia, some schayre, some type of merchandise. Al Hamatbeya, Shekotzes Loi Mois. It's a very interesting Rashi. He gave him a Matbeya. Pashas of Pshat is, he learned the Gemara, he gave him a coin, various different types of coins. And he gave him, let's say, a coin, which is a $100 coin. Let's make up a story. And he Shekotzes Loi Mois. Now, if you gave him a coin, Hava, Pshat is, let's on it. If you give somebody money, you gave him the money, he should be able to spend it. If you give him the money and you want him to pay you back the same coin, that's not avot. That's a shayla. That's nishkan avot. You lent him something, they're shayla. You have to give him back the same thing, right? Here, avot, you gave him money, that's to give you back, pay you back. Not the same thing exactly. So here he says, Rashi says, shekotzes lemois. He said money. That's mois. So Taisus points it out. Taisus says, Pisha kuntus havel lechavei shum pragmatia al hamatbeya shekotzev loy mois noisin loy mois sheyotzim b'shas peroin. So he adds into Rashi, which is not here in this Rashi here right now. Sheyotzim b'shas peroin the hakibel olu losem matbeya v'davke vei pragmatia avu vei mois mashu vei misham loy. There's Rashi here like this from Rashi. The way Tosfos understands the Rashi, that you gave him a matbeya, let's say a $100 coin, and you told him, give me back a coin of $100, the same type of coin. And now that matbeya is nifsala. So Tosfos says, "Ulupirushoi nira." According to Rashi, it seems dimhuveu moyis nami, not a matbeya, he gave him some money. And he told him, give me back money, not give me back Shavi Kesef. The Mishalim Matbeya Hayoytze Boise Shor. He has to give him back that type of currency which is acceptable Boise Shor. The Moish Shinifsulu monies that's out of circulation, not Matbeya. That's not a Matbeya. That's what Tosfos understands the Rashi. Why does he have to talk about Pragmatia? Could have been he gave him a Matbeya. When a person lends money, ain't regil haske dove. Pragmatia, I feel almost time, kach v'kach mois, titain, sorch l'shalom le Matbeya hayoytze. Okay, so that's the Gemara here. Zok the Gemara, what's the din? He gave him a Matbeya, v'nifsa Matbeya, Rav Omar, he has to pay him back, but when he returns the money, b'shas peroyin, he has to give him a matbeya which is in circulation. So Rashi b'shas peroyin the kibul all of losses like matbeya v'hayla matbeyahu. V'davke hilveyu pragmatia avu hilveyu mois eshel hilveyu mishalmoi. His din is that you have to give him back what's in currency is only if you gave him a matbeya. But if you gave him money, meaning not a coin, then you could pay him back whatever. It doesn't have to be something which is yoytze boise shor. That's Rav. Shmuel Amar yochel loy meloy leichetziu b'meishan. Leichetziu b'meishan, meaning that it doesn't have to be something which is davar yoytze. It could be worth someplace else. The coins could be here. It's not double. It's nifsala, but someplace else, it's accepted. It's not accepted here. It's not. It could be accepted someplace else. So Rav says you have to give him what you're paying him. It has to be a double yotze in that place. And Shmuel says you can tell him go l'meisha. Amar Rav Nachman, Mistabim Misl Shmuel. This day ochel l'meisha. He has a way to get there. If he doesn't have a way to get to Meishon, you can't tell him that. You telling me Rav Nachman. This they oche, unless they oche no. They ask a kasha in our Gemara. Hey mechalin al hamoy sheni yoitzes. You can't be mechal the meiser, the payers of meiser sheni. Al hamoy sheni yoitzes. Money which is not yoitzes, which is not in circulation. Ketzad. Hoyuloi moyes koizviyos. Koizviyos is the coin of Bakoichwa. And that's no longer he's no longer the melech, he's no longer in power. Koiz Yishamiyos, Oisha Malachim Arishonim, different kings that were not anymore in reign, no longer in power. Ein Mechala. You can't use it. You have to use something which is Adav Ayoitze. Oisha Lachonim, Dumi Arishonim, Mechala. Zok Rashi, so what's the kasha? Amoy Sayois is Klab Yishalayim, the Lav Kesef Sura Kerinim. If it's not a Adav Ayoitze, Zok Rashi, what's wrong with it? Is lav kesef sura k'dinin bay. It has to be kesef sura. Kesef sura means, Dr. Ashi, tzata kesef biyotru. Tzata means kesef sura. Paskins, going here like the chachama, not like a blazer. So it's not a kesef sura. If it's not something which is a dabayotz, it means it's coins in circulation. Koizviyo is madbeya should koizviyo. Yerushalmi have wachinai koizviyo yerushalmi. Hashem malachim arishonim. They're not in circulation, no. Oshel achonim, the nafki b'vedin acheres. It's okay. So what's the machlokes Rav and Shmuel? He's asking Kasha, you're telling me, according to Rav Nachman, you have to be okay. He has a way to get to the place where these coins are acceptable. That's enough according to Shmuel. He's asking Kasha from our Mishnah. Those that the Bayuns, that he has to be dovered is Yoitze B'Yushalayim. So Kasha Rav Nachman, I'll leave it to Shmuel. Dama Abel Leslie Ochel L'Meishan Loy. This Gemara is Sushtel. Our Gemara to the Gemara via Malvus Chaveira Ala Medbeya Tzorach LaHeshu Leisa Medbeya. It's not to be understood so simply. But our Gemara is Ma'aser Sheni. You want to be paid the Ma'aser Sheni. The Torah tells us how you pay the Ma'aser Sheni. It's Tzata Kesef B'Yotcha. You take it to Yerushalayim. It has to be a Dova Atzura. We saw the Pei Moshlens, the Dova Achoshev, whatever the time is. But it's a posik in the Torah. Tzata Kesef B'Yotcha. So there's dinim from Kesef. It's Kesef B'Yotcha. It has to be in Yerushalayim. So the one is asking a kasha on the sugi here in Bava Metzia, in Bava Kama. These two sugis are Dova and Nefrodim. Yishalmi is talking about Ma'aser Sheni. Here you're talking about Havod. What's the sushta one to the other? And the one answers the reason why it helps in our Gemara. It helps because She'ein Malchi is Makpid as well. So you can get from one country to another one. They're not Makpid. Elokiyama Shmuel. When does Shmuel say Yishmach is Makpid as well? That's when he says you have to have Ocha to get there. But the Gemara holds that these two things are the same. So you have to be able to arrive at the place where the money is acceptable. So he says it's Makpidas, not Makpidas. If there's open borders, not open borders, you have to be able to get to that place. But this din that has to be a tzata kesef b'yotcha, has to be a dova sheyesh b'tzura. It's not a dova ayoytze. It's not a dova ayoytze. Meaning it's not a currency which is acceptable. It's felt in kesef tzura. So what's that shaykhis with Malvus Chaveira al Madbeya? When he's Malva him al Madbeya, Malvus Chaveira al Madbeya, is he telling him that he wants to have a Madbeya sheyesh b'tzura? But that's not the word. The word is he's giving me a Madbeya. Give me back a Madbeya. I give you a Madbeya that I could use here in the place that I gave it to you. Give me back a Madbeya that I could use. Not give me back something I have to. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so the Gemara tells us that the halacha, normally this is what a person is saying. Give me back the thing that I could use here. If I can't, don't tell me I have to go to Meshin. Shmuel says, Isle Ochel Meshin, that's acceptable. That's the Ochel, that's not acceptable. So what's the Gemara? So this is something which is, so let's learn the Gemara now. Here, Ma'aser Shem. Let's Chazar because we want to learn now the Pnei Moshe. We learned Friday, we learned the Rasirila. Let's now try the Pnei Moshe. Zog the Gemara Nachamal. Hoylai Moshe Diskinis. This was again the Skinas is a certain type of a government, and they pass the Malbeya, and there's no sakana. You can still use it. So what's the halacha? Zog the Rabbi Yankiv Ba'Zabdi B'Shem Abavu Machalin Keder Shehem Yofen Eitzel Haturmasa. You can use it at the currency price which the Shulchani has. That he's the one who sets the price. The Shulchani, which is here, Bikish Leid Tzion. He was machal the money, the payers on money. Now he takes it with the price of the Shulchani. And now Bikish Leid Tzion, he wants to take this money and spend it in Yerushalayim. It's the same price when he took the money and he converted the payers into money. Now when he converted the payers, in Yerushalayim, you're going to pay it to the payers, the same conversion rate. So the Mishnah tells us you have to use coins which is yoitze, which is in circulation, and not assume different places that where it's acceptable, not like Shmuel, not Meshan. And not an Amedbei which is not in your hand. It has to be Amedbei which is in your hand. What does that mean, B'shusay? So that's the Moshe explain. Tony, you can't be Mechalol on money, shehem bebubble. If the money is in bubble, you want to say, it doesn't have to be that the money is here with the payers are. You can say these payers are mechul on money, and the money is in bubble. Bubble, and not use the money which is in bubble. Kain on payers which are here. Here meaning in Yerushalayim. They use the goyin, changes the word shekain, and he says this is really supposed to say kan. Money which is here in Eretz Yisrael, bubble, on pay which is on bubble, and he's in bubble. Bubble can, and he's here in Eretz Yisrael. If there was a way to get there, and that's the right way to do it. He comes and says that Bisman Yisrael, the Gemara will say on the Amud Beis, Bisman Yisrael in power, the Yisrael is in power, all the coins are accepted in Yerushalayim. Let's see how the Pnei Moshe explains this Gemara. Oilei Moyes how the skinas. Shem HaMelech Pekei Noim Dim Balacha Omer Rabbi Yoinav Rabbi Yosi Alon Kumi Adiskones Antiyoches. This is a Greek king. Uboyi Im Yochel Lechalan Aleim. The question of the Gemara is, can you use that money? Yochel Lechalan Aleim kan means in Eretz Yisrael Al Moyesh HaMelech Antiyochi Hoyu Behem Yoytze Sham. He has money which is from Greece, and a melech which was nifsal, and he's here now in Yerushalayim, and he wants to use that money that he has over there to machal these payers. Uboyim yochel lachal aleim kan al moishu melech hoyu behen yoytze sham. There it's acceptable. Here it's not acceptable. Can he use that money? Because you go to a shulchan, the shulchan has various different types of currencies which he's going to use. That price, shehen yofen etzloi, by the shulchani, by the money changer, kachu machal aleim. So he's in Eretz Yisrael, and he wants to be machal the money on the payers that he has now in Eretz Yisrael. He wants to be machal these on money. Can he do it? He has to use that price. And later he wants to use this money for Yerushalayim to buy food. It's the same conversion when you took the payers, you changed it into money. When you take the money into payers, you have to use the same rate. Tony b'tesefta shom, v'och gesin hosim, ein mechal noisoi, loy ala moye shekan b'bubble, not using the money which is in bubble, v'loy ala moye sheb'bubble, avlim hoye kan, he is standing in Yerushalayim, v'hoye loy moye b'bubble, and he has money in bubble, mechal noistan alayim, u'pirish ha-tesefta, kach, this also appears in the tesefta, ein mechal noisoi, Lo yala moye shekan b'bubble, kloima, imu aimed b'bubble. If this person who has the payers, he's in bubble. Eina mechalul as a ma'aser, you can't exchange the ma'aser. Lo yala moye shemekan, sheyesh lo sham, in bubble, the fishen yoyis is b'bubble. Because it has to be in the place where you mechalul, has to be acceptable currency. Lo yala moye sheb'bubble, kloima, cheinim hu kan, if he's here. Meaning, in Yerushalayim, you can't use the money which he has in bubble. Afila hamoyes hein aksha b'bubble. The sham yoytze saying, there it's acceptable. He can't use that money from bubble, which is acceptable currency. Mikol mok, why not? Shuhu oimid kan, because the Bala Payas is here in Yerushalayim. Umoyesh bubble ain't a yoytzes kan. The money from bubble is yoytzes bubble, but it's not acceptable in Yerushalayim. Ein mechal aleihem. The beinon, this is the key phrase. The beinon sheyu hamoyes yoytzes b'mokim shuhu oimid shom b'shas chil. That's the rule. The rule is that money has to be acceptable in the place where the Bala Payas is at the time when he makes the chila, when he's paid the payers onto the money. It has to be acceptable there. Where's this? And often the Mishnah says, when you make the chilul, and the mokum when you're making the chilul, the money has to be acceptable. If it's not acceptable in the place where you're making the chilul and where the balabais is, it doesn't work. Let's say he was here in Yerushalayim. And he happens to have a bank account, or he has money sitting in bubble. I'm saying a bank account because that would get into the question is, when you have a bank account, where exactly is your money? Which bank is it? Which branch? Where is it exactly? That's another whole modern day discussion. But let's leave it right now that we're talking about where he is, the money is someplace else, physical money. If you have money which is acceptable in Yerushalayim, but the money happens to be in bubble, then you could use it. And it's money of acceptable currency of Yerushalayim, the money. So how could you use it? You have to be the kesef, has to be biyotcha when you make the chilul. So how does it work? He says, you have to be Mesata Kesef. You have money, you're using this money to Bechal the Payers. The Payers are here. You Bechal on the money is in bubble. How are you getting from here to bubble? To use that money to spend it on Payers in Yerushalayim. You know how you do it? You have a way of getting there. You send somebody to bring it to you, and you bring it here in Yerushalayim. You spend it here. Zehu kavanas at tesefta. This Gemara is coming from a tesefta, and the Gemara in Bava Kama brings this Gemara. It's all coming from a tesefta here in Ma'aser Sheni. Ulefi zeh mispanish hoda hoche gam kein binyan zeh. This is our Gemara. Ela shetzarich levayek tzas beinyan shenira kishinu lechoyra b'mekom mokem hayni hach. He's going into the gisus of the Gemara because we see the Gemara itself without the Mefarshim. It's one of these Gemaras in Yishalmi that it's not comprehensible. So he's spending a lot of time to now. He first gives you the pshat. This is the bottom line, that you have to be, the money has to be a dava yoytze in the place where you are, and if it's not yoitze in the place where you are, and you machal the money, the payers, you have to be able to get the money here and be able to spend it here in Yerushalayim. Okay, now he's going to explain the Gemara itself. Ein mechal noisei ela moye sheheim bebobel, v'loy amoye shebebobel kan. What's this? What does this mean? Kacha yiksuva lifnei mabraisa. This braisa was written like this. Again, ein mechal noisei loy ala moye sheheim bebobel, v'loy ala moye shebebobel kan. Meaning that you can't use the money from bubble. V'yosef pshutehu umefarish hashas. So now he goes through every word and explains every word of this brisa. Lo yala moye shekan bebubble, not money which is here, money from Yerushalayim. Bebubble, beoimid bebubble. If he would be standing in bubble, claim hodiktani lo yala moye shein bebubble. Mashma fila moye shein shulkan ein mechalin. There's a mashma that if you're in bubble, you can't use the money from Yerushalayim. Hainu, why not? That's bebubble. You oimid bebubble shasachila. The money and the person have to be in the same place. The mikivin shu oimid bebubble. This person is in bubble. V'amoye shel kan. Eina yofin shom. Eina yoises. Eina yochel l'chal aleim. Because in the place where you are, you have to be able to use the money. V'tzata kesev yotim v'tzata chal shetav and ashtot. As I state in the Torah. Ulafuke imhu oimid kan. If he's in Yerushalayim, afapi shamoye is heim bebubble. Even though the money is in bubble. But if he's here and he wants to use the money that he has someplace else, it's acceptable because the Gemara is saying that you could bring it here. So the Brisa continues. What does that mean? Don't make a mistake, Lefadish. The Tevis kan alamoyis koi. The word kan doesn't go on the money. Shamoyis hein shel kan, meaning the money is a currency from Yerushalayim. V'achshav hein bebubble. Now the money happens to be in bubble. So that's it. The bezeh shabbat v'chalalayim. You have money from Yerushalayim, and the money happens to be in bubble. Mekim shuoimid kan. He's in Yerushalayim. But moyis hein shel kan, and the money in bubble is Yerushalayim money. Because the money the yoytzes b'mokim hachilhen el de'ochi the fasha hay diktani the beoimid who can mighty v'amoyis shebabel hayne shein shebabel. If it's money from bubble, ain't a mechalul aleihem because it can't be yoytzes in Yerushalayim. You can't spend it in Yerushalayim. If in bubble you had money from Yerushalayim, v'oimid kan, and he's in Yerushalayim, shab mechal aleihem. V'zehu mashmik the fishes like the sefter. Why? He takes the money with a shliach and he can bring the money here. So the Brisa continues. Moyes bebubble lebubble who I made kan. Moyes mi bubble lebubble who I made kan. What does it mean? Bayi. This is a question in the Gemara. Im who I made kan if he's in Yerushalayim. Moyes mi bubble lebubble. He has money in bubble. Kloime sheheim mi bubble. He has money that he sent to bubble. He has money sitting in a different country in bubble, and he's in Yerushalayim. Me name there's international business going on. Me name in bubble they're acceptable. It said beferish you can't use money from bubble's currency. If you're here, you can't use money that's the bubble money. We're talking about when isn't it good to go in. Maybe it's talking about, you know what? You can't use that money of bubble because you have no business there. And you have no way of bringing it, Lavi and Khan. Ain't a klum, kivin sheni yoitzes Khan. Hilke, kivin shoyim Khan, ain't a mechal. You have money sitting in a different place, in a different country, and you have no way of bringing it here, then it's no good. In the case that I just told you, Shamois hemi babu hu mishaleich oisal lo babu, lisasik shom behem. He's investing the money in bubble, and he has a business in bubble. and he could transfer money back here. Maybe it's acceptable. Because he has a business, so he'll be able to access the money and bring it here. So this is a boy in the Gemara. And he says the money is not acceptable here, and he's in Yerushalayim, even though he has a geschäft, he has a business over there, and he has access to bring the money back here. The fact that you could use it, meaning that somehow that this money itself is not acceptable currency here. So how is he going to use it? Somehow he's going to change it. That's what he's saying here. So Neima, Kloima, the Pashid law. So the Gemara answers this question. Again, he's here in Yerushalayim, and the money is someplace. His money is in Babel, and it's not acceptable here. Can he use this to be mechal? And he has a way of getting it here. He has an esek imoyim. The Pashid law, and for the Gemara, lefi oisa abaya be'asma the kach hu adin. So if he has a way of getting it, so that's acceptable. And that's what the Gemara says now. I'm sorry. Im hoise, name im hoise, derech psucha mechalel, 4 lines from the bottom, meaning, zokte, shuhu yochel, the Pnei Moshe, levian lekan, v'sheim yoitzis kan, kugoin, shein hamalchius, makbidis uazu, there's no blockage, there's no problem with the currency going across the border. Then he could be mechal because what? He has a way of getting it here. So the boat is, the Gemara comes out that if it's a dava yoytze, meaning you have a way of getting it here to Yerushalayim and mitzata hakeseb biyotcha you could buy whatever you want. That's only hani mili. It's transferable. The Tovei Kain, Kloimer Shetivive Veskinu Kain. He says the Chomu were masaking this. Kedem Farish Abovin. What was the takona? Bishman Shemalchus Yisrael was in the one which was reigning in Yerushalayim. So they made a takona. Kedvash Abovin Sheskinu Shehei. He's bringing money from Babel, which is Babel currency. He's going to bring it here. What's he going to do with it over here? Because of the takana. What was the takana? Kol matbeyes yoises b'Yerushalayim. All the coins are acceptable in Yerushalayim. But when they came, and that's what they were masakin. They made a takana that this money is going to work here. Hashem yifei noif v'hoyim etzias mehaber mine matbeyes shel ha'oretz, and it was acceptable all the matbeyes of the world. V'skinu shei machal ma'kulam. And he said that this Madbeya should be acceptable for any country. If he's here and he has a Madbeya which is Yoitze b'mokum shuhu, so it's considered a Madbeya. Tata kesef biyotcha, it has the din of kesef surah, because it is acceptable in the place where it is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be shayach. And they made a takana, so maybe you could use it. Now, this din, we're talking about being poy de ma'aseh sheni. That's the deraisa din. You're not going to be poy de ma'aseh sheni. Without the pigeon, it's not going to work. So they made a takana, and that takana is going to work on the what? On a deraisa. It's the takana chacham. This goes into the old question. There's a question about the kinyan the Rabbana. The kinyan the Rabbana is going to help for a deraisa. The konas of the Rabbana. How does it help? How does it help for a deraisa? So it seems that we're talking about money. I know it goes into the same gather of hefke bezin hefke bezin is mafke your money. Afkir rabbanon kedushim minay. How did rabbanon take away kedushin? Kedushin the chadaraisa. How did they make it ois eisishish? If the afkir rabbanon kedushim minay, if you don't, because you do adat the rabbanon mekadosh. If you mekadosh adat the rabbanon, and the rabbanon say that this is not acceptable, you do certain things that the Chachamim don't like, so the rabbanon go and they mafkir the money. The kedushin, the kedushin, ois eisishish, right? That's the bekannte sugi in kedushin. So that's how the Rabbanan have a right to take the kedushin and annul the kedushin, so to speak. But how does it work over here? If you're telling me the midiraisa, this currency is not acceptable here, It's only that the Rabbanan made a takana. Amar Rabbanan and Kol Amad Beis Ha Yoysi B'Yishalayim Mipnei Kain Hashem Yifei Noif Misayis Kol Haaretz.
They made a takana that it works, or they just said the Metzius everybody should be